Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. Right here with Spears.
How y'all feel out there?
Steinberg. What time is it? Game time.
I only knew about Toledo because that's where Jamie Farr's character from MASH.
I don't even know who Jamie Farr is.
He's the dude who was the cross-dresser in MASH trying to get kicked out.
Oh, him. Oh, okay.
And they would always say he was from Toledo.
Really?
So I assumed as I was growing up as a kid that cross-dressers came from Toledo.
Okay. Shit, that's... Jesus. Okay. Well, let's start off. I know this will make him happy. Let's start off with Bathtub Indian. New Batman movie. He writes in the subject, new Batman, perfect movie to me. Caps. I hate this email already. Yo, A&A, just finished watching new Batman in theaters and Ultra AVX at Atmos. Holy shit, dear Lord, have mercy. Movie was fire. I can tell you right now I know I think this movie is going to be shit. He's putting way too much on this. But anyway, though folks will always end up moaning and complaining about something, they will surely find their faults in this, I'm sure. However, through my lens and many more will find this Batman the perfect 10 out of 10. I will not give anything away, obviously, but I suggest every person watches this. And if you watch it, make sure it's an Ultra AVX ATMOS. It's meant to be watched this way. I'll provide two of my reasons below why I thought this movie was perfect film to me. And these are my checklist requirements for a movie to be absolutely sensational. The Batman cinematography was absolutely breathtaking. Matt Reeves did such a beautiful job with ironing all the small details to capture the tone of this film. The scenery and rain added such an intensity and thought-provoking darkness. The noir-like tone of this film captured such a realistic feel throughout the entire film. 2, stories and characters in this Batman captured such a rich darkness, intense tone, and mystery-like feel. All credit, of course, goes towards director Matt Reeves. The music was beautifully used in their respective scenes throughout the film. Some scenes, the music was so intense that it was almost hypnotic. The biggest question will, of course, be Robert Pattinson's performance. Any good? Then he writes in caps, hell to the motherfucking yeah. Robert Pattinson did a masterful, in caps, job portraying the darkness, grittiness, and most fearless Batman. Catman played by Zoe Kravitz. This must be the cross-dressing thing he was talking about.
You know, he said Catman?
Catman.
Yeah, Catwoman, man.
Yeah, 10-10 performance. Lieutenant James Gordon performance was 10-10 as Jeffrey Wright. Colin Farrell performance was 10-10. Paul Dano performance as the Riddler. Imagine that, the Riddler from Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Batman. I can't do it. Was absolutely masterful. Perfect as fuck. 10-10. A&A friends here on the podcast, watch Batman, Love and Peace, Kulsh. I'm going to let you have first stab at this because you've seen it.
Well, but before I go any further, I just want to address that because you RZA, and you brought that up, and I thought, wouldn't it be great if you took Wu-Tang? I would watch this. They picked their characters, and they just made the Batman movie.
Give me next week. I'm going to have something for that.
The Wu-Tang doing it?
Yeah.
I think that would be great. I would pay to see that shit right there. That I would pay to see.
Right.
But then definitely put in some of that Shaolin in the Batman.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. Damn, man.
You know what it is? The wire. You're stepping on that wire. You see it?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. We had technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw it. Let me just say a few things. Matt Reeves, the director. I say that he had a very close relationship with Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. It has that kind of cinematography, that look, that film noir that he's talking about. I'd say they're probably friends, or he was influenced heavy by him as a kid listening to Nine Inch Nails. Number one. Number two, you messed up Zoe Kravitz and
Call it Catman.
Catman and Zoe. That was one of my favorite things I told Aries. As long as she was in the movie, I was down to see it because, man, my mad feelings for her parents. Like, those two people are, like, incredible to me in that part of my life when I was a young man. And Zoe Kravitz's parents. Just love them. So she's done great as an actress. I think she's awesome, and I think she did great. Jeffrey Wright, that goes without saying.
Right.
We know how I
Who
like
you
him.
like more, Jeffrey Wright or Paul Giamatti?
Man, they're really good, but they're both character actors. They both can play other people.
Who do you think is better? More.
If I was casting for for a role that was for a black character, Jeffrey Wright. If I was casting for a white character, Paul Giamatti.
When you once upon a time ago said the mark of a great actor is when you really hate him for a role he's supposed to be hateable, I want to choke shit out of him for 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah?
That part where he tells the black kid to jump with his knees to touch the cane, then he not only does that, but he finishes the moment with he'll be a fine, and I quote, young beast, and punches him in the chest. Jesus.
Okay, and for that movie, he was hateable, and you said that's a very fine actor. Now, Paul Giamatti in Howard Stern's movie.
Yes.
It's a comedy, so it's lighthearted.
Yeah.
I hated that motherfucker he plays. They call him Pig Vomit in it, but he had in real life. He plays that character and I know that guy. Right. I've seen that guy working in the corporate world, in a little bit of corporate world that I worked at for the few years that I did. I know that motherfucker, and he played him so well. I hated him too. And the best moment in that movie to me is when Stern slams the door in his face when he goes, "We're going to be friends, right?" It's an incredible moment. These guys are both good. They get into that cranny, that nook and cranny to make these characters. They're both excellent actors, man. I wish if I was doing something, I wish I could cast them both. That's the only way I can answer that question. Right. There is not one that's better than the other. To me, they're both great. But he was definitely great. I loved him in that movie. There is a problem I have with Colin Farrell, although I think he does a great job. I don't think I'm going to give away anything. I can say it this way. He has an accent. I'm going to call it an accent.
Oh, Colin Farrell?
Yeah.
Penguin has an accent?
Yeah, it isn't an accent. He's basically, it sounds like he's doing an impression.
Of what?
Of another actor. And it didn't bother me because it almost fits the character. And it's almost like an homage to all the characters this other actor has created.
Bah humbug.
You haven't seen it yet, so that's
Let me tell you, this is a bad sign. You ready? When Neri, and again, Neri this is his lane. When Neri tells me it's did that, and I've heard two bad reviews, one from Neri and one from my man. Big shout out to my man Carlos, who's one of the quadruplets in my team when we play Call of Duty. He said it was garbage. Listen,
the movie itself, I don't want to get into it because we are going to talk about it. The movie itself, it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie.
Does it feel like 3 hours?
I didn't feel like 3 hours. There's a lot of action in it. There's a lot of good scenes in it. I happen to be a fan of Trent Reznor. I like how it's filmed. I like its look. I like the darkness of it. I like it.
Yo, this nigga Batman got a collar, B. He got a collar, yo.
I said I like the movie. We'll leave it at that.
I'm going to respond how Africans respond when they don't like something. They suck their teeth. That's not a good movie. Don't tell me about that one.
It definitely needs to be seen. There are a lot of opinions that can happen from it. They're taking chances. And here's the thing. A lot of people aren't going to like this movie. I'm going to be honest with it. A lot of people won't like this movie. But we've seen Batman. You have to continue to try to see other points of view of Batman. That's what
I don't mind other points of view. What I mind is the parakeet nigga.
Listen,
he looks terrible.
There's some really great scenes in it that I thought he did very well. I told you there's some looks. You're not,
that hair, nigga. The way his hair lays. Oh.
There's an absence, a part of the character of Batman in this. I'm not giving away movies by what I'm saying. I'm trying to keep this as clean as possible. There's absence of portions of the character of the Batman that are missing from other characters, intentionally done in this film. And because of that, I think that people will find some problems with it. Plus, the last incarnation of Batman, they were exceptional in those areas. So I think this is where we're going to have some of the problems. And for Neri, I like Neri and I like his opinion on movies, but he was a big fan of Aquaman, which I thought was okay. It wasn't an award.
Somebody said they loved that line I said because of the loud colors and patterns, it looked like it was basically a gay club in the sea.
It was Versace's underground lair.
Guess who works the door at the gay water club? Coles, nigga. In order to get in, you got to go.
We always thought the bubbles are going down. The bubbles are coming up.
They're coming up, nigga. When Coles dips his head into the tub, he's working the door. And when he's on break, he come up. Dun, 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 dun.
It's a C. The movie's definitely to be seen. I think there's going to be a lot of debates and people have different opinions.
Well, don't go too much further because here's another one on that.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go any further.
Nick D. Yo, Aries and Andy, I'm emailing hoping you read this in time to catch the Batman while it's still in cinemas. You're doing yourself a massive disservice if you don't see this on the biggest screen possible. Okay, so now we're 2 for 2. Aries, forget any preconceived notions you have of Pattinson. Oh, sorry. It was the same. I was the same. But the film is 95% Batman and 5% Bruce Wayne. But he smashes it anyway. And I can't help. Let me stop reading for a second. That might have been by design. Yeah, nigga, you don't look like, you look goofy. So we're going to put you in the Batman shit to conceal the goofiness.
It's a certain period in Batman's life that they're doing. And in that period, the Bruce Wayne character is very minimal.
All right.
That's what I was getting to in the last thing I said. And it's what's hard, and let me just address what he's saying there. It's hard when the last Batman was amazing as Bruce Wayne.
My baby, Mr. Affleck.
So that's where I think a lot of this tension is coming from between the two.
This is the best representation of Gotham there's been in any film. It feels more like the comics and Arkham PlayStation games. The Dark Knight films were great action films, but this is what I feel a Batman film should be. Really dark, almost horror-esque. I'm just lost for words after seeing it and will be going again in the next week. Please go and see it. I would love to hear what you both think. On another subject, they finished the Ray Donovan series off for the film in January. What an absolute roller coaster beginning to end. It's on par with The Sopranos, and for me, it's replaced The Wire in second place in my top 3. You guys have to watch it ASAP. Finally, Andy, how are you liking Peaky Blinders, and where are you up to with it? The final season just started here in the UK on the BBC. I think they're also finishing this off for the film next year. Peace out, my partner's Asian voice, Nick D. Batman's coming. I'll see it and it's coming. Ray Donovan, you ever seen it?
No, Liv Schreiber. Am I saying his name right?
Liv Schreiber.
Dude, I think he's an excellent actor.
My brother loves that show.
I want to see it because I when it first came out, I wanted to see it, and then I got behind, and then I just didn't get back to it. I do want to see it.
It's on my It's on my list.
It was really good. And the only disappointing part with Liv Schreiber to me is I didn't like him as the Wolverine's brother.
That whole movie though is kind of
that's and I think it didn't influence me on that, but yeah, that's my. I definitely would like to see Ray Donovan. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I think the people in it are exceptional, and it's something I would like to get to see. So next time we have a week off, maybe I'll check it.
Where are you with Peaky Blinders?
Dude, I'm just finishing up the first season.
Is it good?
I think it's an excellent show, but I know one of the other reasons you're not going to like it. It's
a lot of cock meat in the camera.
There's none in it after that. And
he said after that. So there is.
There really isn't. There's none in. Really.
What is it with the Brits in your cocks?
But
we like to show our cocks a lot. A lot of times when we're sitting there eating breakfast in the morning, we'll be butt naked when we do it. So it's like we're eating sausage while the sausage is out.
It's kind of a period piece because it takes place in that 20s era. So
we had fucked up teeth and fucked up dicks.
My son, because you said about cocks. Oh God, I can't even believe I want to tell this story, but I think it's the funniest thing. My son True, he was in his room, and my other son Max is in there, and Max was fucking with True, saying some shit to True, and True said, "I have to go take a shower," and Max was still just I'm on the phone, so I can hear everything that's going on, and I just hear, I hear, "Deal with it."
Oh shit!
And then,
where is this going?
and then Max just starts laughing. He goes, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe what just happened." And I go, "What happened? What's going on?" He goes, "So I'm in here, and I'm fucking with True. I am, and so he said he had to go take a shower, and I'm kind of standing in the door. So True just takes off his pants because he wasn't wearing a shirt. He just took his pants, his underwear, and standing in front of me, fucking dick out." And Max is like, "What do you do?" And he goes, "It's my room. I need to go take a shower. Deal with it." Because all I heard was the deal with it.
It ended better than I thought it would.
No, I wasn't going
to. That didn't end the way I thought it would.
What did you think was going to happen?
I thought that he bust through his teeth with his dick. And he's like, "Deal with it."
No. He just stood there in front of my son and just said, just with his dick out, and was like, "Deal with it." And then Max just started laughing and laughing.
That's why a lot of our teeth are so fucked up. We just jam each other through the mouth with our own pricks and turn what's supposed to be a beautiful smile into a 3-2 zone.
Well, on television, British television had nudity on television before America ever had it on. So if they had titties like 50 years before we had it, they're going to get to dicks way before we get to it.
Well, we can have that stat.
You're only a few years away from dicks on TV.
Yeah. My man, big shout out to my man, Timmy Doyle. Again, one of the quadruplets in the Call of Duty team. He listens to the podcast, and he said to me, he texted me, he said, "Dude, you got to watch Tropic Thunder. If for no other reason, because of Tom Cruise, it's worth it." And I told you I'd never seen it. Yeah. I said, let me give it a try. You saw it, right?
Yeah. A long time ago, though.
And, let me get to why I'm saying this. Deidre Ann Johnson. Miss Johnson, if you're nasty. She writes, "Totally not offended by Robert Downey Jr.'s character in Tropic Thunder. The entire movie was hilarious, and he was the dude playing the dude playing the dude. Nigga, the first 2 minutes of this fucking movie, the dude gets hit in the neck, and the amount of blood shooting out of this nigga's neck was beyond Quentin Tarantino standards. And that's not even the part that made me stop this fucking movie. I didn't get in 5 minutes. I said, I'm not doing it. They cut to the scene with the dude's guts and intestines being pulled out and played with. Even if I wasn't watching this movie. But I so happened to be eating ramen noodles. Nigga, and I mean, I literally just had a fork full of ramen noodles. I usually make 2 packs. So I got a nice amount of bowl of ramen noodles. My favorite is the Oriental flavor. Put a little soy sauce in there, a little hot vinegar. And I'm seeing this nigga's gut swimming. And I got noodle on my fork, nigga.
And it's shaking.
I was done. I'm not watching Tropic Thunder, yo.
But it's a movie about the movie.
Yeah.
So,
but even in comedy, I can't do it. That shit, man. I don't do blood, guts, and gore.
So what did you do for Halloween as a kid? Did you ever go out and do Halloween parties?
Yeah. But Halloween in my childhood was the superhero face. It made of plastic with the string on the back. And the big plastic costume that would kill you now. Halloween wasn't what it is now, grotesque and ridiculous. It was safe.
Yeah, I remember the plastic thing that you're talking about because my parents, I wanted one really bad. I cried till I got it. My dad hated me and then made me wear that same thing until I completely grew out. I wore the mask for a year after I grew out of the outfit.
Right.
I think I had it for 4 years.
Yeah, that outfit you put on and tied the back of your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a cape and I had like some kind of pants. I grew out the pants right away, but I had to wear that cape for 3 years, and then the fourth year I just had the mask.
Yeah, man. And you know, Tropic Thunder, the way it really starts out is they do the ad for the 2 energy drinks, Booty Juice, and I forget what the other one was called. And then they do the false commercials for the movie ads, and the one with Jack Black, and he plays the farting family like the Clumps. And then they had the one with Tobey Maguire and Robert Downey Jr. like the gay Friar Tuck niggas. And I went, yo, I could see that this is a funny fucking movie. But nah, son. Nah, y'all playing with noodle intestines, nigga. Ace Williamson. On the action karate, I don't want to kick this thing over again. Just cautious as fucking wire.
Yeah, I don't know why I rolled it through that way.
All right. What up on action karate movies, take from previous episodes. What up, A&A? I just wanted to touch on the previous episode you guys did in search of Aries' Instagram account. When you guys were talking about the Van Damme, Bruce Willis, Jackie Chan, and Jet Li, the difference between Jackie Chan and Jet Li, to me, was the fact that Jackie, how would I like to put it, played with his food too much at times in his action movies. He's talented like hell, don't get me wrong, but that's my biggest gripe with him. Now, Jet was all about business to me. He straight dominated when he had to fight in his scenes. If Bruce Lee was the Jordan of the karate movies, Jet Li to me was Allen Iverson. He just knew how to take over a scene, just like Denzel in The Equalizer, Keanu in John Wick, and even Thanos in The Avengers. They all never played with their food, unlike Jackie, who oftentimes would play so damn goofy and get his hands and feet on him religiously during his fight scenes. Now, I know in a regular fight, oftentimes you may get hit, but to be such a proclaimed master and badass like Jackie is, it was just too much. And that's what was special about Jet Li to me. He handled that shit quick, broke his opponents down methodically, and wasn't silly and playful while doing it. Good catalog of movies as well. To close this out, I remember your good friend Michael Jai White did an interview where he said Jet was just a master of so many styles. It's crazy. Like the dude was just good at every damn thing. To Jackie's credit, he also said, far as being a master of whatever style that Jackie practices, and as far as doing his own stunts, he's not to be fucked with. Simply amazing. Now, Jackie's last movie, The Foreigner, was perfect to me. Less silliness and more cutthroat. He got shit done. And that's the Jackie I always wanted to see. Thank you guys and much blessings. Dude, it's not till I read this email the second time that I start to understand. The Foreigner, I think that's the movie with him and Pierce Brosnan.
I haven't seen it.
Great fucking movie. And he's right. Jackie's not doing all that silly shit. He's almost like dramatically, seriously acting. And based on the tone of the movie and Pierce Brosnan, it's a departure from what you used to seeing Jackie do.
But to Jackie's credit, the reason he did it that way is it opened up the door to all audiences. It wasn't just a kung fu movie.
Right.
He was and also he did say doing his own stunts was Jackie's broken every bone, I think, in his body.
Right.
But he opened up the door so more people would be. It was so much more entertaining. It was more than just the art of fighting.
Right.
Where Jet Li it's about the fight. It's not about it doesn't have to be creative. It's the fight, like he said, how he breaks the opponent down. It's a different story with Jackie. And I understand if that's what you like, but that's a smaller audience. That's what made Jackie bigger.
And sometimes, listen, man, when you're trying to establish that name, you got to do other shit before you. Maybe Jackie always wanted to do the straight to business shit, but sometimes to establish a name and get to where you want to be, you got to dance a little bit. You got to do that silly shit. You got to, so you got to do what I haven't learned to do. Carlos Zarazua. Gemma, Yo, Aries, what's a motherfucker got to do to get his shit read on the pod? Nothing, brother. You just have to wait at DMV till they call you to window 3. Got me wanting to do myself in like Kolsch. Insert bubble noises here. Listen, we now know that Kolsch isn't doing himself in. This nigga's working his shift. I'll keep this bit short. Someone wrote in saying how you said you would let Gemma shit on your chest. LMAO. Well, I remember within the last year, you made a comment saying you drink Gemma's diarrhea with a ladle, LOL. If you like Gemma, you should definitely check out Shady Shaneray, my dude. You'll be glad you did. Keep up the great podcast, guys. Send it to Andy, and he'll show it to me. Because, you know, I'm Instagram-wise, I'm
Andy Comedy on Instagram.
I'm off the plantation, baby.
Andy Comedy on Instagram.
Andy Comedy on Instagram. I don't think anybody's going to beat my Clydesdale, dog. But I will see.
Who? Thanos beat your Clydesdale? Thanos did?
Who?
Thanos beat Hulk. And let's see, who else beat
Well,
Hulk?
who was Thanos?
Thanos beat Hulk.
You mean really Thanos?
Thanos, yeah. Because
No, but he's talking about in terms of, you know.
yeah, but I'm saying is your Clydesdale?
Yeah.
She's been beat. I see her. I only see her as Hulk.
No,
I don't see her.
Son. Nah, yo.
Dude, I bet she gets extra support to put in those high heel shoes that she wears.
I don't give a fuck what she got, nigga. And if she needs support and anything from me, I'll do what the fuck it takes, nigga. You know what I mean? If she needs to step on my balls to be taller with a stiletto, let's do it. Stop it. Frank Williams. Let's talk about comedy. What's the word, A Boogie GTA Andy? Hope your year is going well. Sorry about your Instagram, I guess. I will never get unblocked. Yeah, nigga, me and you both blocked now. We together now. Laugh out loud, but it's all good. My friend introduced me to this comedian, Ralphie May. Have you heard of him? And if so, what do you think about him? My view is that he is funny. He is a funny motherfucker. I like his style and his presentation and the way he says, you son of a bitch, LMAO. I feel like he goes under the radar in the comedy light. I know he is dead, but his legacy should live on. And so I write is there. Yeah, $10 out of you. Is there any comics to you guys that don't get enough praise for their talents? Aries Spears. Thanks, you guys. I look forward to Wednesday and Thursday to hear you guys speak the real and the truth. It is much appreciated. It keeps me grounded and makes my week better. Yay-hee. Peace, fellas. Your boy, Frankie G. I know you was a big fan of Ralphie, man.
Ralphie's was a good dude, number one, and a funny comic that could tell jokes forever. You could go watch Ralphie all week long, and he could probably do a different hour every single night. And not that he did, because as comics, we want to do the stuff that's hot that we just did. But he had so much in him, man. And I think he does get the credit in our comedy world. But he didn't have a TV show. He doesn't have movies.
And listen, I know it might sound like brouhaha coming from me, but at the same time, TV and movies, it's nice to have those accolades, but it doesn't mean or not mean that you're not good enough. And I thought he got the credit that he properly credited.
But he came up through the television show, the comedy
the Last Man Standing.
Yeah, Last
Comic Standing.
Yeah. Otherwise, it could have taken even longer for him to get the attention, and he was already a beast at comedy.
Right.
But I mean, it took a long time for him to get it. But I think he gets it. I think it's in the community. I don't think he has those things out there. Like, I have nothing but love for Bob Saget. I'm not saying anything about it. He was a great person. To me, he was great. He was good to me. Little interactions, but always kind and a good and honest. But he's going to live on forever because he has show after he has
Right.
all the shows. So he's going to get the credit from an audience that's outside of comedy automatically. And then the people that like that comedy are going to add that to the
Right.
to the legend. But when you don't have that out there and you pass, your comedy has to stand up on its own by itself. And unless it's people who are looking for comedy, they're not going to find it because there's no other window into those people.
Right.
So I think that's where Ralphie has kind of, even though, like you said, he's passed, but that's why his comedy is kind of, I'm not saying his comedy's passed, but his comedy is in that same place when he left. So only people that enjoy comedy are going to find it now.
Our boy Ran Foots, my man, is between Cults in the Tub and Ran in the Woods.
Do you ever run out of the woods just to get your feet in the tub?
No, because wood niggas like they shit muddy. Ran Foots, what's up? What's up, Aries and my nigga Andy? Ran Foots is in the goddamn building. God damn it, freedom. God damn it, freedom papers for all of y'all. Just wanted to tell you, niggas, I'm proud of the growth of this podcast. One thing I would like to see more of is old school movie reviews. To me, these are some of the best podcasts between the dialogue, the impressions, and the wisdom of Andreas, LOL. That makes for a good show. Then also, it could educate a lot of the listeners because a lot of them are young and they need to know about the good quality entertainment. I'm still here, niggas. Ain't going nowhere. Shout out to Shamor and the rest of the listeners. God bless. You know we love you, Ran. You know what I mean?
I just like that he comes out of the woods just to make the appearance.
You know what I heard lures him out of the woods? Beef jerky.
I agree with him, though. I like these old movie reviews because there's so many movies that, there's so much information. And now that you have every kind of streaming service, there's no reason to go look up old movies. And there's some things that are missed. And it's nice to bring these to a younger audience or people who have missed them.
It's amazing, dude. It's like as I'm on my PlayStation 5, and whether it's Hulu, Disney Plus, fucking Netflix, Amazon Prime, take your pick. It's like I'm looking at this shit, scrolling through, looking for, and this was the night I actually, from Amazon Prime, I rented Tropic Thunder. I just went, this shit is Blockbuster Video in your home.
Yeah.
Like everything is just available. It's mind blowing.
It's bigger than Blockbuster because it is available. Blockbuster,
right.
Yeah.
You might not get what you want. There's nothing you want that cannot be found. And here's the thing. Sometimes with Netflix, you can't, certain things aren't available on Netflix movie-wise. Amazon Prime has, if it ain't on Amazon Prime, it don't exist. Amazon Prime has everything, yo.
Dude, they have even more now. And I know that sounds crazy. I didn't know this. My friend Tim told me this. I didn't know that IMDb is owned by Amazon.
Right.
And IMDb has their own network that they're developing. So they're going to have even more of their own thing that they're doing.
Do you miss the nostalgia of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there was
taking your girl to Blockbuster, picking out your movie, the smell of the carpet and the popcorn.
There was nothing better and nothing worse than going out to go get that movie for your kids that night.
Right.
And you come home as the dad. You have that pizza. Oh. And you had that movie.
Pizza Hut back then.
And you had the movie that they wanted. Oh. You were a fucking star.
What?
That was the great, that
blowjobs for everybody. Everybody in the house get a blowjob.
What a moment.
Even the dog is like, Rrr.
Now someone brings the pizza to your house because you didn't have to leave.
You do not have to leave your home.
No. Do you know how hard it is to be a star in your home when you don't leave your home?
Right. Your kids can do what you do. They can go to the pizza. They can pick the movie.
There was a moment that people aren't going to understand. My kids looked at me as a hero for that moment.
Man.
I'm telling you, that whole thing's gone. That's all gone.
Orant Patty, Mr. Spears. Dear Mr. Spears, Let me preface this email by saying that I'm a huge fan of your work. I watched Mad TV for years just to see your impressions of Shaq, Magic Johnson, and countless other celebrities. You have a very unique and special talent. I don't think that you have been given the shot to really and truly showcase the full spectrum of your talent. I'm a huge fan of the podcast. I listen to it all the time. Since I feel that you haven't been able to fully showcase your talent, I took the liberty and time to sit down and craft the pilot script and series that is tailor-made for you. I watched all of your interviews, listened to all of the podcast episodes, and watched your 2 specials over and over again to get a real feel for you and what you want out of this Hollywood game. I think I came up with a concept and premise that would suit you quite well. I would allow you to do stand-up, sketches, and do some serious acting. Please let me know if you are interested in looking at the script. Sure, Orant. Send it to me. Let's see what it do.
What's his name?
Orant.
Aren't
Patty.
Aren't you thinking that I might want a fucking part in your movie too? The shitty part, a side part, maybe just even somebody who's working the fucking hot dog stand as Aries runs by being the star of the show.
You're Jewish. He wants you to do the financing.
Well, dude, you should see my fucking bank account. If you're looking at me as the Jew who can do the financing, you got the wrong Jew.
You know, I'm going to skip ahead and make this the last one.
Really?
Yeah, because you know what? We got 15 minutes. And part of why I'm doing this is because I have a feeling that knowing my inner self, we might need 15 minutes. Let me tell y'all something. Andy has, just like I sat there and said on an episode, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, how he is able to heighten his karate and take his time, and he's ready for the kumite. He too has given me some advice on how to better be a better person and to not always motherfucker. And I said to myself, you know what? I got this email. And what's strange about it is it's from FFB332 Mob Williams. Prior to this email, we never had a problem with this dude. This dude has never made me feel disrespected or talk crazy to me, which is why I'm wondering why out of the blue did he choose to do this? So, and I often, some sort of fucking Asian proverb, your first reaction based on emotion is often the wrong reaction. So at first I was emotional, and he did write one thing that was funny to me as we went back and forth before I decided to cancel him. Was he said, "You're getting emotional, Aries. I think your diabetes is acting up." Funny. But I really thought to myself, I'm gonna destroy this nigga. And then after I took a second, got some head, ate some ham, I thought about it and I went, maybe take the Andy road and just say fuck it, Aries, and ignore the motherfucker. Like, just be better. I said, that's what I'm gonna do. But then, like my favorite movie, Heat, when Robert De Niro's crew, remember? Him, Tom Sizemore, Danny Trejo, and Val Kilmer. Trejo and Sizemore get killed. The only reason why, just said him, you got you. Val Kilmer gets away is because his broad didn't snitch him out to the popo. And that left De Niro, who was on his way to getting away with it. He was in the car, he got the pussy, sitting next to him, he's on his way. But then he veered off and went to the hotel to kill that cocksucker that he said he was going to kill for fucking up the job. And thus it led to his character's demise. I'm going to the hotel, Andy.
You got to do what you got to do.
Okay. This nigga writes, "What's up, A&A? I'm listening to episode I can't remember. Arises, you were talking about how black people look down on," and he writes, "Brian Gumbo. and why was he looked at as a sellout by black people, which I never said he was a sellout by black people, but nigga, look what you said about Key and Peele. If they walked in a room full of real niggas, and based on my depiction of them, they wouldn't walk into a room full of real niggas. But would you say something don't smell right? Why? Because they not black enough? Because you are saying the same shit you say, us black people say about Brian Gumbo. You do a lot of flip-flopping on the podcast, still waiting for you to get into Joe Biden and Harris ass. Because black people like you vote with your feelings, and I'm not a Trump guy, but I respect this policies. Meant to say his, as a black man. So don't come talk that coon bullshit with me, nigga. Okay. I just hear that music in my head right now. That's the Karate Kid. You're the best. Oh. Da-da-da-da-da-da. First of all, you stupid cocksucker. It's Bryant Gumbel. Bryant, like Kobe Bryant. Gumbel. Gumble. Not Brian Gumbo. First of all, line your ducks up, nigga. Line up your facts. Articulate. Don't put $10 a lot of money in your writings. And know what the fuck you talking about. You stupid fuck. That's number one. And like I said, I stand on what I said about Key and Peele. I just shouldn't have said it. I believe in what I said. I just shouldn't have said it. And this is the part that really pinched my taint. Where was it? Why do black people say the same shit? We as black you do a lot of flip-flopping, and you still want to. Joe Biden. I don't know where you keep, or some of you get that, because I think there's somebody else that alluded to this. At no point did I ever say that Joe Biden was for niggas. Matter of fact, I've said repeatedly, show me a president that didn't say racist shit and that was for niggas 100%, and I'll show you an Asian man with a huge cock. It doesn't exist. I said to you it was about the lesser of two evils. Trump had to go. That was it. Period. I said if I could snap my fingers and have it my way, Obama would have served a third term. But we know that can't happen. So if we had to pick between Lord Vader, a.k.a. President Biff, continuing a second term, or Biden, it was the lesser of two fucking evils.
I know we've said that on the podcast before.
Yes. I don't know where you think that I have love for Biden. And what's funny to me is I wouldn't call you a coon, but when you go, I respect his policies. What policies did you respect? Did you respect when he called 3 women of color, when he said they should get out of America and go back to their own countries? Did you respect when he sat there and shitted on third world countries, but said we should welcome European countries with open arms? Did you respect him when he said that the 5 innocent boys from the Central Park situation should have been murdered? Did you respect him when he had lawsuits against housing discrimination because he wouldn't rent to black folks? What about him did you respect? Coon nigga? What about it did you like? When he kept calling the birther movement and suggesting that Barack Obama wasn't from this country? Did you respect when he told police officers to ignore being professional and don't put your hand on a suspect's head and make sure that he didn't hit it on the top of the car, but as a matter of fact, mush the head into the car, which gives racist fucking cops license to fuck niggas up because the president said so? What the fuck are you talking about, you coon cocksucker? You can have it a little bit, Andy.
Well, I don't like some of your analogies.
Oh, and I'm sorry. Wait,
go ahead.
Real quick. And Bryant Gumbel. When did I ever say he was a sellout? Bryant Gumbel got fucked with for the same reason that every comedian has fucked with him. Dave Chappelle. Wayne Brady makes Bryant Gumbel look like Malcolm X. Because Bryant he wasn't the stereotypical flavor of a black man. He came off, kind of whitewashed. Even though, if you know anything about Bryant Gumbel and his history, he's anything but, which is why I never called him a sellout. I made the same joke based on the same interpretation that people have always made about him. And guys like Byron Allen. Get your facts straight, you dumb fuck. And this is the last time I'm going to read an email from you because I'm done with you, motherfucker. Bitch ass nigga. Go ahead, Andy.
I think some of the points that you try to make don't resonate with him or with me, to be honest. About Trump, because those things are some of them are misinterpretations of what you said, of what he said, because the press hated him. And I am not a Trump fan. I can't stress
Let me just
say
this, Andy, and I don't want us to get off on a tangent about this because we've been down this road.
Yeah.
My thing to you is this, and I know what you're alluding to about the media and a little bit of the twisting of his words. Bottom line is this: we do know he is a racist.
Yeah.
Okay, so whether it's a misinterpretation or whether it's actual shit, we know that there's a stench on that doo-doo.
But coming from me, I also think that 70% of white America probably participates in racism, whether they know it or not.
We know that.
Okay. So that being said, do I think that anybody in the presidency doesn't had racist tendencies that has come up through America? Yes, I think they all have. So that doesn't mean much, me saying that he's a racist. Did he have policies that could have affected both I don't even want to say both, our country, no matter who you were in this country? Did he have policies that could have affected us in a better way than some of Biden's policies? Yes. But did he have some much worse things that he's done that could have affected us in an extremely negative way? Definitely. I said before, I didn't want to vote for, I wasn't a fan of Biden. Lesser of two evils. I think we've alluded to that, if not said it. And I said that I was voting for the media because I thought that the media, rather than have Trump for a president again for another 4 years, would rather blow this whole country up. And I didn't see that as being what we needed to do. But I asked that the media hold Biden as accountable, as someone that they wanted in office, as someone that they didn't want in office. And that they have slowly reacted to, and have started to now maybe react to it a little bit differently. And now we can kind of see that maybe possibly the whole pipeline thing, which was very bad environmentally, but on a geo perspective of the world here that we have now, where Putin has affected the world because of energy, that would have been something that would have not made Putin as effective and maybe not led us to where we are right now with what's going on in Ukraine. That still would have happened, I believe, but it wouldn't have affected this country's gas prices. So I understand what this man is trying to get at. But when you want something acknowledged or said, it doesn't do any good to kick down the door and scream it out. We understand that there's differences, but what were you willing to accept by Trump versus Biden? We would have had some better policies. Maybe financially, we would have been better right now at this particular moment. Our stock market would have been different at this particular moment. Listen, Aries is coming from this point of view. We just had a conversation about how we got beat up a little bit in the market right now. We both would have appreciated some of the things that of not getting beat up, but is it worth it to have someone?
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Yes, to have someone of more moral character in that position. And listen, this is what it comes down to. Moral character for your president is important. And when I say I don't think that Donald Trump's racing was his worst was the worst part of him. His moral character, his willing to destroy anyone at any moment to make himself look better. That was worse to me. It kind of all comes together in the same place. This man, it's not There's many good policies that I did see that Trump had, and I think would have helped us in some ways. But he's definitely had the other side. He had the right hand and the left hand.
As a black man, did you like the part when he said, as far as neo-Nazis and racist people go, good people on both sides, bitch-ass nigga?
In the context that he presented it, this is where this
fuck you talking about, man.
This is where it gets so painful too, because how he presented that, and then didn't even say. He couldn't even correct himself. He can't even correct himself to make him. You know what the greatest thing is? I'm going to tell you guys something that I hope that we do. Aries and I talk about. I just watched the LBJ documentary, and say what you want about any politician that we had. He comes from a time of doing some great things for this country, but the man made mistakes, and he holds himself accountable to his mistakes and tries to be better. I have to ask you this question: as someone as a president, someone who realizes that they make a mistake and wants to do better and tries to correct those mistakes, that would be a very important quality to have as a president, I think.
I think a guy named Obama had them qualities.
But to not even want to address your mistakes and make those other people's problems, that's a horrible place to take this country. Even if you have some good ideas that can do well for the country, it really does something to the core, to who we are as people. I understand people's points when they say that some of the policy differences. I'm not happy with Biden. I don't know that he finishes his term. I think sometimes he's on stage, and I don't know that he knows where he's at. I don't know. But all this being said, I've asked the media to do its job, and I feel that in some ways it's trying to, but I feel that it was very slow getting to this point. But I understand your point, sir. I understand why you're angry, but here's the part that's really funny to me. When you call out other people about someone else,
Brian Gumbo,
and you're yelling and screaming in a room, it's not going to do you any good. We need to learn how to have a conversation again. We need to learn how to speak. Yeah, I understand your feelings and what you're passionate about. But there's other side of that story. There's other passion, and you are one-sided and screaming, and it didn't get you anywhere.
Yeah, and like I said, he even in the argument exchange said, "I'm gonna continue to listen to the podcast, whether you do or don't. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. But you can send me all the emails and rebuttals you want. I ain't giving you no more shine." And I tried to ignore this, and I tried to do what Andy said, but had to drive back to the hotel.
No, and when you listen to the podcast, the reason you're listening to it is because it still challenges some of your thoughts. You still listen to it because you want to hear the other side. You want to get some of this information. And that's what we're really supposed to be doing. But we should do that on our own. We don't need to get mad because someone has a different point of view. Sometimes we just need to ask why they have that point of view. And
I don't even mind your point of view. Just get your facts straight. I never said that about Brian Gumbel. I never called him a sellout. Ever, 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 ever. But I've seen too many things on him that to the contrary. So where did you get that from? I never defended Biden. Where did you get that from? Where are you getting your shit from?
Actually, you said that you just hoped that some of the Obama rubbed off on Biden.
Yeah.
So
some of the good characteristics that was Obama, I hoped would rub off on Biden. That's a good thing for anybody, that you would hope they pick up the traits of another good human being and influence you. What's wrong with that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think this is communication, and I think people.
I've said this, man. Listen, man. People are dumb. There's not very smart. The intelligence. There's not too many intelligent people in the world. People are fucking dumb.
Well, I would say this, and this is where I'll leave this with Trump, and why one of the main reasons he's not supportable to me. I don't remember the arguments being this divisive on almost everything in America throughout history. And I mean, we've had fucked up history in America, but no one has brought it in my lifetime as divisively as Donald Trump had laid it out.
Andy, I can show you my iPad right now. I literally downloaded from Showtime a documentary called Trump, and it chronicles the race between he and Hillary all the way to his victory. Yeah, you just said it. Divisive as a motherfucker. And as bad as Biden may be to people, when you look at the state that the country was in for those 4 years of Trump, not saying Biden is I'm not defending Biden, but what a difference. What a difference. We were in fucking turmoil, divisive turmoil.
But to be honest about that divisive turmoil, and this is where I have a problem with it. I think the media created much of the divisiveness, but my problem was...
Okay, but the media didn't make the motherfucker storm the Capitol.
Yeah, but listen,
he did.
No, the media helped too. But I'm gonna address that. But when you have a president that relishes in what the media is doing, he's against it, but putting more out there to fan the flames, to cause more.
I know, but if you lead by example,
that's what you should do.
And if he, in terms of that position, and the president of the United States, if he upholds that position based on all the things that position means, you don't do that, man.
No, but he wasn't elected because of that. He was elected because there's a portion of America, and it sounds nice when you say it up front. They wanted Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry, is what they wanted in office.
White lash.
It wasn't just a white lash. They wanted someone that was going to come in and kick ass all over the country. They weren't going to be nice to other countries. They were going to close down borders. We weren't going to have these kind of. They were going to be tough on crime. They wanted Dirty Harry, and I know that we could say white lash, but a lot of it was where Obama was. As he was shown to be geopolitical, where he was looking for a world, it was interpreted as a world order that he was going to be that he was putting us in part of instead of our dominant place. But the truth is, the world got a lot smaller, and we are going to have to work with other people. They still wanted the cowboy, and that's the reason Ronald Reagan was elected, because they wanted the cowboy. And when we go through this, we can go through what there's a certain percentage of people that want this. It's a character. It's not
cowboys go yee-hoo. Those noises have slaughtered Indians and hung niggas from trees. So I hear what you're saying, but there's a white lash to that too.
I'm not.
That comes with the cowboy.
I'm not disagreeing with it. When I say that there's people participating in racism in America that don't even understand it, I say that they're a major part of this. They don't understand. And I get. I'm going to get these emails. Why don't they understand? How can you not see it? And it goes back to, like, if you're comfortable, you don't see a lot of things because you ain't looking for anything. But life is good. Uncomfortability, and that's why. God, you got to see this documentary on LBJ.
I'll watch it.
Uncomfortability is what makes change happen. And when you have a majority of the country that happens to be of one color and life is working out good for them, nothing's going to change. They have to be uncomfortable too.
All right, we got to leave it there because we got a show.
Yeah, let me go.
You gonna get your dates?
Yeah, dates, guys. Here we go. This is...
Bitch ass nigga.
I got what you're trying to say. You just might have wanted to say it a little differently. All right, so you're listening to this on the 17th, and that's the first day that Aries is in Arlington, Texas.
Home of them Cowboys. Woo!
Yep, March 17th to the 20th. I will not be there. I am at home with my kids in Hoboken, New Jersey. We're going to be spending a lot of time in New York. March 25th to the 26th. 2 nights only, 4 shows. Come see us over at Cincinnati Funny Bone in Liberty Township, Ohio. Then March 31st to the 3rd, we are at Off the Hook Comedy Club in Naples, Florida. If you're going to come out there, if you're in that area, it's a great restaurant. Enjoy eating at that restaurant and enjoy our comedy. April 7th through the 10th, Comedy Factory in Bmore, Baltimore, Maryland. Looking forward to that, actually. Here we go. April 15th to the 16th, Funny Bone in Albany, New York. And then 2 new clubs that we haven't been to because they haven't been open, and we're looking forward to them too, is April 21st to the 23rd. We're at Skyline Comedy Club in Appleton, Wisconsin. And then April 29th through May 1st, we're at Summit Comedy Club in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Very much looking forward to those. Great clubs by the same guy who brought you to Tacoma Comedy Club. Cool clubs, bring good comedy culture. Come check us out.
All right, from King's Entertainment, the King's Dragon, Lust in social media, Instagram, the King's Dragon, spelled just like you heard it, the King's Dragon. Twitter, the King's Dragon, number 9 at the end of it. Snapchat, King's Dragon, number 9 at the end of that. TikTok, KINGSENTLLC. They're on Facebook. They're on YouTube. The song is called Lust. It is time to rub and have some water go across my balls.
I won't be here for that, thank God. Guys, come check out our shows, man. We'll see you on the road.
Bitch ass nigga.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. If you'd like to know who's responsible for this shit, it was hosted by Ari Spears and Andy Steinberg, produced by Steve Merrick and Anthony Holmes, executive producer, Big Papa, Robert Kelly, and Matt Kleinschmidt for the Laugh Button podcast. For more information on where to find us, visit SpearsburgPod.com.